Penny for your thoughts. It was another day at Shelter 17. It seemed like any typical day for the Pound Puppies. Lucky was just watching a disappointed boy and his mother going away. The boy wanted to adopt the puppy who was just brought into Shelter 17, but the family didn't have the money for her. Cookie approached Lucky, seeing him watching the sad-looking kid and his mom leaving. "Thinking of helping that boy out?" she asked Lucky. Lucky turned to Cookie and said, "Cookie, that boy is this little pup's perfect person. We need to get him to somehow. Let's go down to headquarters and try to come up with a plan." Lucky did just that. "Good idea." Cookie followed Lucky. Lucky turned to the pup. "Are you coming too?" he asked. The pup named Penny nodded her head. "Sure am. I want to go to my human." "Then let's go," said Lucky as he jumped down into the headquarters. Penny jumped down followed by Cookie. Lucky gathered the gang towards the FKD. "Okay guys, listen up. We've got a mission here." Cookie and Strudel listened, alongside Strudel with her assistant squirrels. Lucky turned to Strudel. "Strudel, are you positive that boy is Penny's perfect person?" he asked. "No doubt about it, Lucky," Strudel answered. "All right, here's the deal," Lucky explained. "That boy wants Penny really badly, but at that moment they don't have enough money to afford her. However, McLeish has Penny reserved for them, so nobody else would buy her." "But they've only got a week to find the money or else the reservation is expired." "How can we raise the money?" Cookie asked. "Hey, check this out," Niblet shouted. Niblet dragged out his giant bucket of coins. "Whoa, Niblet, where'd you find all that change?" "I have a hobby of collecting money I see on the ground," Niblet said. "They're so small and shiny." Just then, Lucky got a smug look on his face. "I think I just got a plan," said Lucky. "Penny, I guarantee you'll be with your person in 1 hour." "Really?" Penny wagged her tail excitedly. "Lucky, what's the plan?" Cookie asked. "First off, Niblet, would it be all right if we used your money collection for this?" Lucky asked Niblet. "As much as I love my collection," said Niblet, "I'll do it for Penny." "That's a good pun, Niblet," said Squirt. "I made a pun?" Niblet asked. "Okay, Strudel," Lucky said to Strudel. "Do you have some kind of invention that could count all this money and turn it into lightweight cash or a check or something?" "I'll see what I can get." Strudel, along with the squirrels, headed off to find something to count the coins. Lucky then explained the rest of his plan to the other dogs. "All right, Niblet, we're done with your part, so you can relax. Thanks for the coins, by the way." "No problem, Lucky," said Niblet. Lucky continued. "Once Strudel is done, I'm going to have her call McLeish and have her say that the family has the money and is sending the man on the house over to pick up Penny. After that, Cookie and I will take care of McLeish and all that business. Once we get Penny out of the ground, Squirt, you are to meet us there and take Penny to the house." "You got it, boss," said Squirt. "Let's hope this works," Cookie said while looking at the pile of change. Strudel returned. "I did find something to count the change, but I didn't find anything to change it into a check or something lightweight," the dachshund told Lucky. "How are we going to manage that?" Lucky asked. "Think maybe Strudel and her squirrels can invent something that could do that really fast?" asked Squirt. "How much money do we have, by the way?" Lucky asked. "According to this, Lucky will have around $600, Strudel told Lucky. "Perfect," said Lucky. "That's exactly the amount needed for Penny." "What's this?" Lucky asked, looking at Mr. Nutnut. "It looks like Mr. Nutnut has something there." "But I don't speak squirrel." "What's he saying, Strudel?" Strudel listened. "He says he might be able to make something to help us with the money weight issue." "He does?" Lucky said in shock. Strudel nodded her head. After some time passed, Mr. Nutnut and his friends did just that. Niblet had fallen asleep. "How's it going, Strudel?" asked Squirt. "Is the money ready yet?" "It's ready." Strudel showed the pups the money. "All right," said Lucky. "Now it's time to put Operation Penny into action. Go, dogs, go!" Lucky noticed Niblet was out. He didn't really mind since he wasn't really needed anymore. Besides, he knew Niblet might screw up this mission like he usually does. "Okay, here's what I want everyone to do," explained Lucky. Cookie and Strudel listened. "Strudel, call up McLeish as if you're the mother of the family and tell him that you have the money and are sending your husband up to pick up Penny." Strudel nodded as she went to the phone with McLeish. "Penny, you go back up to the surface and wait for us." Penny nodded and went back to the surface. Cookie and Squirt, come with me. Lucky led Squirt and Cookie to the tunnel that led up to the alley. Cookie and Squirt followed Lucky. Lucky opened up a trunk. There appeared to be clothing inside. What are we doing here, Lucky? Asked Squirt. I think I know, Cookie told Squirt. Thinking of disguises, huh? She asked Lucky. Cookie, it's almost as if you can read my mind, said Lucky. This is why you're my second in command. Cookie smirked. Lucky pulled out a trench coat and a fedora and led Cookie and Squirt up into the alley. Squirt followed. A trench coat? What about me and Squirt? Cookie asked. Well, it's just going to be you and me, Cookie, said Lucky. Squirt's going to wait here for us. Squirt saluted. Okay, but how is one trench coat going to hide us? Cookie asked, confused still. I'll tell you, but something tells me you might find it a little awkward, said Lucky. It can't be as awkward as you make it out to be. Cookie looked at Lucky. Well, said Lucky, you're going to be carrying me on your shoulders. You're right, this is awkward, Cookie told Lucky. Think you can do it, Cookie? Lucky asked Cookie. I can try, Cookie answered. All right, Lucky said as he climbed on the coat and hat. And here goes nothing. He climbed up onto Cookie's back until his rear end was placed on her shoulders with his hind legs hanging over. Cookie waited as Lucky climbed on her back. She got up on her hind legs, holding Lucky on her shoulders. Lucky wobbled a bit as Cookie got up. Now, Cookie, I know you have trouble standing on your hind legs, but we've got to try, Lucky said to Cookie. Don't do this for me. We're doing this for Penny. Secretly unknown to Lucky, Cookie would do anything for him. Right, Cookie told Lucky as she balanced on her hind legs. Lucky closed up the coat and said, Let's go. Cookie nodded as she headed back towards the pound. I wish you guys the best, Squirt said as they went off. Lucky and Cookie were a bit unbalanced as they went into the pound. Steady, Cookie, steady, Lucky said to Cookie, who was underneath him. Doing as best as I can, Cookie answered as she tried to keep her balance. Lucky noticed that Cookie was taking him past McLeaf's office building. Cookie, turn left, he said to her. Cookie turned left. Okay, we're approaching steps now, Lucky said, so take it slow and be very careful. Cookie nodded as she went slowly up the stairs. Can you see okay? Asked Lucky. Yeah, Cookie answered. All right, we're in, said Lucky. I see McLeish's office straight ahead. Forward, Cookie. Cookie moved forward. The instant he noticed they were close enough to the door, Lucky said to Cookie, Okay, stop. Cookie stops. Well, this is it, said Lucky. You ready, Cookie? Ready as I'll ever be, Cookie answered. As soon as I open the door, take me in, Lucky said to Cookie. Lucky knocked. Meanwhile, on the other side, McLeish was interrupted by an online game he was playing. Come in, McLeish said. Lucky opened the door. Ah, you must be Mr. Kennerson, said McLeish. Come on in, sir. Cookie walked into the office. Yes, said Lucky to McLeish. I'm here to pick up the puppy. Well, of course you are, replied McLeish. That will be $600, please. Okay, Lucky said as he felt around the coat. He checked one pocket. I know I've got the money here somewhere. He reached inside the coat and started feeling around Cookie's face. Cookie blinked. What are you doing? She asked in a hushed whisper. I'm trying to find the money, he whispered back. Cookie quickly handed Lucky the money. Lucky grabbed the money from Cookie. Ah, here it is. McLeish looked at the disguised duo rather strangely. You look very familiar to me, said McLeish. Lucky's heart sank. He feared McLeish was seeing through their disguise. Cookie gulped. Maybe I'm just imagining things, McLeish said. Well, here's your money, Lucky said, handing the money to McLeish. It was quite a few bills. McLeish started to sort them through. Forget it, he said. I'll have Olaf count them later. He went back to his computer game. Cookie wiggled her nose. She hoped she didn't have to sneeze. Shouldn't I, sign some paperwork or something? Lucky asked McLeish. No, said McLeish. Just go get your dog and get out of here. Cookie sneezed. McLeish turned to the disguised dog with another strange look on his face. Lucky sweated over Cookie's sneeze, thinking it would blow his cover. McLeish just said, Gesundheit. Lucky was relieved, so he responded, Thank you. Lucky nudged Cookie, signaling her to head back outside. Cookie started back outside. After they left McLeish's office, Lucky said, Okay, Cookie, now just head right over to the cage, Penny. And Penny should be right there waiting for us. Cookie headed to the cage. She wobbled a bit, but caught her balance as she approached the cages. Lucky hoped Cookie was okay with being on the bottom and carrying him this whole time. Lucky was also a bit surprised that Cookie wasn't speaking very much. Well, obviously in this situation she had to be silent, but it was still unusual for her. When Cookie stopped at the cages, Lucky looked for Penny. Then Lucky saw Penny. "Penny, over here," he called. "Lucky, is that you?" Penny peered through the bars. "How did you grow so tall?" she asked curiously. "With a little help from someone," Lucky said with a smile. "Really?" Penny asked. This was Cookie's cue to poke her head out of the disguise for Penny. Hey, Cookie poked her head out of the coat. "Mainly me," she said to Penny before hiding again. "Cool!" Penny wagged her head. "Did you find my human yet?" she asked. "Now listen here, Penny," Lucky instructed. "I want you to go back down there and look for tunnel number 7. If you're having trouble finding it, ask Strudel for help. Squirt will be up at the other end waiting to take you to your person." "Will do," Penny said to Lucky. "We wish you the best of luck," said Lucky. "And remember, once a pound puppy, always a pound puppy." "I'll never forget that. And thanks again," Penny told Lucky and Cookie. Penny headed down the tunnels as Lucky instructed. "Okay, Cookie," Lucky said to Cookie. "I think Penny knows what she's doing now. So let's go back behind the building so we can get out of this crossing and get back to our hideout." "Good idea." Cookie headed towards the back of the building. As soon as they were out of sight, Lucky took off the coat. "Okay, Cookie," he said. "You can lower yourself now." Cookie lowers herself to all fours. Lucky got off Cookie. "Hey, so how was that experience?" Lucky asked Cookie before they went back in. "Were you okay in there?" "Yeah, though I never thought I'd have to walk on my hind legs like that," Cookie told Lucky. "I wasn't too heavy or anything, was I?" Lucky asked. "Nope, you weren't too heavy," Cookie answered Lucky. "I figured as much. After all, you are the muscle of the team," Lucky nodded. "I sure am happy to have you as my second in command." "Ah," Cookie blushed. "Okay, we've had our moment," said Lucky. "Back to headquarters." He opened the secret entrance and jumped through the hole. Cookie followed Lucky inside the entrance. Meanwhile, Squirt was still standing around in the alley, waiting for someone to arrive. Squirt groaned. "Oh, how long have I been waiting here? If only I had something with me that could pass the time," he said, pacing back and forth. Penny soon arrived after emerging from the tunnel. "Hello?" Squirt turned around. "Penny? What are you doing up here?" "Oh, I followed Lucky's instructions," Penny answered. "He told me it was okay to come up here?" Squirt asked. "Didn't he and Cookie finish their duty with McLeish?" Penny nods. "They sure did. Lucky said somebody would take me to my human." "That somebody would be me," Squirt said proudly. "Cool!" Penny wagged her tail. "All right, just follow me, kid. And whatever you do, don't wander off," Squirt said to Penny. Penny nods. "Okay." Squirt led Penny out of the alley and turned left. He continued walking until he got to a crosswalk. Penny looked around. Squirt kept a close eye on Penny, making sure she didn't wander off. "Stay with me, kid. As soon as you're with me, you'll never get lost in the city. I know the whole place like the back of my paw." "So, just to make sure," he added, "when you saw Lucky and Cookie, were they wearing a trench coat?" Penny nodded her head. "Yeah." "Okay, good. So now I know you're not making stuff up." "Yeah, Cookie was under Lucky in the coat," Penny giggled. "Maybe next time I'll see if Cookie will do that with me," said Squirt with a smirk. After a moment, the walk signal on their left turned on. "Okay, let's go." Squirt led Penny across the street. When they got to the other side, Squirt kept walking forward. "Your person's house is just past the railroad tracks," he told Penny, "and they're not too far from here." "Okay." Penny wagged her tail and took off towards her person's house. "Whoa, slow down there, pup," Squirt called. He caught up to Penny. Penny stopped. "Oops, sorry, too excited." "Once we get there, I have something for you," Squirt said. "Lucky asked me to give it to you." "Oh? What is it?" Penny asked. "You'll see." Squirt squinted. "Okay." Hey, Penny sat and waited. At that moment, Squirt's ear picked up a strange sound. It sounded like a deep little rumbling sound. It was coming from behind him. "Anything wrong?" Penny asked. "Did you hear something, Penny?" he asked. "Yeah, like a low rumbling," Penny answered. Squirt didn't even realize that the noise was coming from Penny herself. Penny blinked as she heard the sound coming from herself. She blushed. "What?" Squirt blinked. "I think it's my belly," Penny blushed. Squirt, too, was embarrassed. His ears picked up sounds so well that even little innocent ones sounded demon-like to him. "Sorry, too excited to eat," Penny blushed more. "Don't worry, kid. Squirt said to Penny. I'm sure your new owners will have plenty of kibble ready for you. Come on, Penny, said Squirt. It's not much further. He continued walking. Penny followed Squirt. All right, here's the railroad tracks, Squirt said as they approached them. Now be very careful walking across these things, he warned Penny. A lot of dogs have gotten their paws stuck on railroad tracks. I don't want that to happen to either of us, especially not now. Yeah, that would be scary, Penny said to Squirt. Just remember to watch your step, said Squirt. He walked across the tracks with ease. Of course, since Squirt was such a professional at this sort of stuff, he even did it with his eyes closed. Penny noticed and watched her steps as she went across the tracks. Squirt waited at the other side for Penny. He prayed that she wouldn't get stuck, and if she did, he was ready to save her. Penny walked along the tracks before she tripped with a yelp. Oh my gosh, Squirt gasped. Are you okay, kid? Yeah, I think so. Penny tried to get up, but her hind paw was caught behind the tracks. My paw's stuck, she whimpered. At that moment, the railroad bell started dinging, indicating an oncoming train. Why is there always a train coming in these situations? Squirt asked, breaking the fourth wall. Penny got scared as she heard the railroad crossing activate. She heard the train horn in the distance. Don't worry, Penny, I'm coming! Squirt jumped up and ran up to Penny. With all his might, he pulled on her hind paw. It wasn't long until he got it unstuck. Got it, Squirt said. Then he slipped underneath Penny and ran off carrying her on his back. They managed to get off the tracks before the train even got close to them. Penny sighed in relief. Squirt then carried Penny out to the porch of her person's house. Well, here we are, he said, lowering Penny. Penny wagged her tail. Thanks for all the help. Have fun with your new owner, Penny. And here's the gift I promised you, Squirt said. He whipped out the official Pound Puppies tag and placed it on Penny's collar. As my boss Lucky always says, once a pound puppy, always a pound puppy. Squirt jumped up and rang the doorbell, then quickly darted off. Penny wagged her tail. Thanks again, she wagged as the door opened. She looked up at her person and hopped onto his hand and licked his face happily.